Is the inaugural show of the Boton Line program. The Boton Line program is a successor program for the ballot 2026. As you may know, we probably have concluded our electoral exercise today, and so we just have moved on the next step to the bottom line. The bottom line will be coming your way at the very same time, 9 to 11 p.m. So I welcome you so much and thank you for staying with us. We shall still be looking deeply, incisively, and analytically at the issues that matter to our society. So please make it a date with us every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Join us, be with us, be together with us, and follow our online presence so that we can have the debates there. On the show, I have my colleagues with whom we have been dissecting some of these issues. First of all, Dr. Daniel Rugarama. He's many things, but I will just choose to say he's a lawyer, and he can tell us the many other things he chooses to to tell us on the bottom line. Next to him is Jamil. Jamil Kazibwe told us that he is a gentleman who is winding himself out of work, most probably. But probably the appointing authority will insist and give him, but he's the coordinator of the office of the national chairman of the National Resistance Movement. You are very welcome, gentlemen, to the show. First of all, Daniel, welcome to the inaugural show, The Bottom Line, and thank you for being with us here. Can you say hello to our viewers?
Salutations to you, our dear esteemed viewers, and I'm really very happy to have been invited once again, this time around, not the ballot 2026, but the new program, the Bottom Line. And I'm looking forward to being part and parcel of shaping and also engendering the Bottom Line agenda.
Yes, and indeed the Bottom Line agenda. Thank you so much for being here with us. Jamil, that may not be able to resist the wonderful yellow color. You are very, very welcome. Thank you for being part of history, for being part of the NRA. Thank you. Say hello to our viewers.
To our viewers, good evening. I want to welcome all those that have participated in the exercise of today in the elections. We are conducting the sub-counties, and welcome. We have seen the turn-up, though still low, but at least we have tried to, for the first time with the EC, try to see how the machines operate. Welcome all our viewers, and from that exercise. Still, this coming week, for us, we call it I'm the father, I'm the mother, please allow. So we are taking back kids to school. So that's why we're calling it I'm the father, I'm the mother, please allow. So for the parents, try to follow the guidelines. Don't see what the neighbors are packing for the kids and you think you are on the same caliber. We have different constraints. We go through different financial disabilities and efficiencies. So please endure, but keep time, and the only thing you can provide to your kid is the education. So I urge you at least to comply, and you take them. It has been a long holiday, but I think it's high time we go back to where we belong. For the bottom line, I've been on our media platforms. People are eager about it. You know, for us as Office of the National Chairman, headed by Chief Muzukulu Hajati Adija Namiyal, once we get an opportunity to serve our country on anything, we share widely. So we have shared the bottom line, and as we speak, the entire office are on TV watching. So I salute you and I greet you all.
So you have introduced something new to me. So I would hope, I'm just hoping that it would also be clearer to the viewers.
Yeah.
I am the mother, I am the father something. What is that?
You know, when we are taking back kids to school, we always have those excuses. You take a child because you have not yet paid fees due. So the excuse, you say, I'm the only father, I'm the mother, so please allow. As I go back, and I try to see what to do.
Okay.
So that is a saying.
I get you. So it is really bottom line. It means the struggle we go through.
Exactly.
Yeah, to take back that well. So
Yeah.
so you also mentioned, I'm staying with you, Jamil.
Yeah.
You also mentioned the challenge of turnout for the elections that were held today. So, bottom line is that we have had a reduction in participation of those who are eligible for electoral processes. But today, we had the bottomest. From the feelers, from the information you may be getting, was one of those who are interested in this exercise. Why are people not showing up almost at all?
There are many reasons. But it all comes back to Electoral Commission, the sensitization, and to tell people that election doesn't end on the presidential elections and parliamentary. So you find that our people, after the presidential and parliamentary elections, now elections are done. So all the results that came out, so we have to start now to go back to where we belong, to go back to our workplaces, the internet is not off, everything now has become normal. So if at all in each and every exercise for the mayorship we switched off the internet, the tension was high, probably people could say, hey, we are still in elections. But since everything has gone to normal, they think elections are done. So it goes back to Electoral Commission to do the exercise. And because now, for instance, me have been watching on Family TV, how many adverts has the Electoral Commission submitted to Family TV in the department to tell people the program runs from the presidential up to now at the sub-county level. Our viewers, they are watching Family TV. They don't know what is going on. Apart from us who come here at Bottom Line and tell them, you people, these leaders actually, they are more important than the leaders you think you have elected because they are near to you. They are the closest to you. If I told I'm looking for the chairperson of the sub-county, is the closest than a member of parliament, than the chairperson LC5. So they have to know the value of their responsibility and the vote. Two, our leaders we have elected, we have put in all the energy. And you know, we have a saying for us on street that it pains to see that I've put in an effort to elect a leader and is not, you saw what happened in Kawempe. The returning officer was instead of saying, I've duly declaring, he nominated Narukola while running. So such incidences put our people, their tensions down to say, even if we go to elect the one they will announce. We have seen incidences, the incidences of in Masaka. For today you come into Honorable Sewungu versus an MP, you say if at all the boxes are tampered with, we stop there from counting. You go to Honorable Sempija versus Yusuf Chiruta. If the boxes are tampered with, we stop there. You go to Nameri, you say no, if they are tampered, we put them aside and we continue. So all these things that come into people's ears, they say now, even if we go and vote, they already have people they will declare. So all those, they put our people, their temper down not to go and do the voting. Thirdly, it is the influence of our mothers, the women. You see, when you look at the population census of, we said we have 20 million voters, 21 million voters we registered. But on the 21 million voters, 14 of them, they are women. So how have you conducted these women? Because one, to leave the responsibilities at home, to leave everything, they say now let us go and participate in this exercise. It requires a lot of sensitization. It requires a lot of civic education. But what we say, EC, one, it has not done its job well. Two, even us, to help them. So once you say everyone, every dog on its own tree, then whose responsibility? So what we need to do is to go back and find the reasons why our people are not voting. And one of those reasons, the most crucial one, is the leaders that we have devoted to vote, not to do their responsibilities. Our people, what they are going through, they even fail to look for a leader to run to. If at all people are claiming, why should we turn the issue of saying there are no medicine in the hospital becomes a song? The loopholes within the roads, why is it becoming a song? It means the leaders, even if we elect you, you are not going to make any change. So we need to have people who say now, this time around, let's have a hands-on leaders. However much the turn-up is down, but let's be hands-on. So when we have those leaders, it will maybe resurrect the vigor, the fatigue that has been within people. To say now, since these people have worked, at least if at all we can have some leaders who are more capable than these ones, we shall have new leaders. But as of now, until we make accountability of the previous leadership to the newly elected leadership, there is still a bigger gap. Because if at all you ask, whether in opposition and NRM, how many can we bring at the bottom line here and say, okay, in the previous 5 years, since 2021, 2026, what has NRM done? And opposition, okay, for you, at the side of opposition, what have you done that impact our people on ground? That they feel like we don't have to lose this opportunity of getting new leaders. So when there is that gap, I normally ask people from all media platforms, bottom line, give us an opportunity. But you find that you call ministers, permanent secretaries, COUs, PROs from ministries to come and explain government programs, and people are turning off their phones. You are paid to do the work, but you want to sleep on the job. So at the end of the day, these wananchi, what they will do, to be valekere, let us leave these things for them. They decided to make everything for themselves, let them do. Even if it is election, we shall conduct, the time is going to reach 2031, and we try to conduct an election, and we shall have zero turn up. At the end, we shall say, let us pay for people to go and vote. That is where we are going.
Daniel. Because
now, if at all the turn up is down at this moment, yes, it means in the next election, we shall say, please, we are, as government, we are paying you to go and vote our leaders. That is the level we are going. Because we, the leaders that have been elected, we don't want to be accountable to these wananchi that have given us that kind of leadership. So it all comes back to us, the leaders. Ask the leaders, because if you are not accountable to these people, they will say, what is the reason? Because even if it is marriage, me, if at all I'm a young boy, I want to get married, I should have a reason why I should get married. If at all I want to buy a car, I should have reasons why I should buy a car. If at all I need to do, I should have a reason. Even these 1 inch, they should have reasons why they are going to vote. So if at all you turn away the service you would have rendered to them, then what is the reason and purpose of them going to vote?
Daniel, this is, Jamil sounds like he's passing an indictment. That the expectations of the electorate has been let down so much that the people will elect, and I was talking about local leadership at another forum today, and said there seems to be no sense within the population about the value of the leader who is the closest to them. That councillor, that division chair, that Gomborora secretary for whatever. It's really this that is keeping people away. I'm told people were asking for transport today. Somebody was reporting that wherever he went, they were saying, but where is the transport to get to Ronde? That's how bad it has become.
You see, the concept of elections, especially in developing economies like ours, you see we are rated by the Bretton Woods institutions, World Bank, IMF, as developing democracy, developing economy. So we are there. Uganda is part of that. The challenge we have, and I said it here, I've said it elsewhere, is that we are struggling so much to perfect a democracy which is not organic, it is not ours. And in the process of perfecting borrowed democracy, I say so because in China, their type of democracy is not what we are having, is not what happens in Sweden, or Britain, or America. In Japan, not necessarily. In DPRK, they call it a dictatorship. But largely speaking, African countries that have colonized Europeans, for that matter, are struggling in implementing the type of democracy that time and again, since we adopted it, has been punctuated with things such as corruption. All manner, by the way, of corruption is in there simply because people do not value the kind of electoral democracy that we have. So it's about what do I get as the participant, as somebody that has offered myself for an office. What is it in there for me? Now that is the trouble. I want to, that's part of the trouble. It's not the only trouble. I want to go back to what my brother has just hinted on, that we are about to reach a point where we are going to be paying the voters to come to the polling stations. That is already happening. Especially at higher levels, even if it is local government, by the way, when you look at councillorship in urban centers, you look at LC5, for instance, even LC3, depends which LC3 we are talking about, and parliament, money changes hands. The people provide transport. Even when now electoral commission, which we have time and again been appealing to improve, they have improved because you remember the number of polling stations and the ones which we had now, they made it a point that in every village is not just enough to have one polling station. They sometimes have more than 3 depending on the population. And that in itself reducing the distance, the voters would have to move. But what happens in other jurisdictions? In Rwanda, Comrade Baguma, when a voter goes to a polling station, there is a bottle of mineral water and a piece of cake, I think. Now, there was an argument by some of the observers that that is corruption, that you are enticing people to vote for whoever would have brought the bottle of water and a cake. Question is, in a fully electoral multi-party dispensation, if the government provides, say, a bottle of Coke and a cake, you know, it sounds very simple, but I can assure you the number of people, especially in the rural setting, that would go to a polling station simply because after voting, it's like donating blood. In rural settings, in schools, students go donate blood because they know at the end there is going to be a soda and a biscuit to take. Now, we can have all manner of academic intellectualizing that whatever we want to do is that. But at the end of the day, if it is going to improve the numbers, because we are looking for solutions of the raw turnout, I would have that as a recommendation. It is working. As long as there is no particular political party, of course they would have an argument that the incumbent is the one benefiting.
That's what I was going to say.
But there will always be an incumbent.
I was going to say.
Whether it is in a democracy like Sweden, whether it is in China, whether it is in America, there will always be somebody who is holding an office and has offered himself once again to occupy that same office.
It will be so, like the incumbent is giving logistics.
Absolutely, it may, but remember who is doing it now. The person who is doing it in majority of the cases is actually Electoral Commission. Now, Electoral Commission is whose political party? In a properly functioning multi-party dispensation, Electoral Commission is an arbiter. It is saying voters, when you reach here, after casting your vote, come please pick a bottle of soda and a cake. Now, Electoral Commission cannot be anybody's political party. So therefore, the point we are trying to make here is that there are solutions for low turnout of voters. And part of the solutions we are talking, because it's already a problem. It is happening. Things to do with 25% turn-up. The general turn-up was 51?
54.
52 or something like that.
52, around there. That is not something that at master's level in Makerere you would have failed.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I think in many universities.
You would have failed because the pass mark is 60. Or at undergraduate, that will be a weak degree. It's a pass. It's not good. We would have passed, but not good. Wouldn't encourage that. Therefore, we should mind so much. And I believe that is why Baguma brought this as an opener. We should mind very much how the turn-up influences the ultimate participation. You see, this is participatory democracy. And you cannot have such a small number, negligible, the smallest, determining who is going to represent, and you think, therefore, that the person that would have gone through that system is adequate representation of the arm's length distance of the majority of the people that are affected by the services that is going to be offering. I want to conclude here by observing that whereas we are aware that certain things as fatigue you know, there is such a thing as political fatigue. People are just
Election fatigue.
Yes, people are just tired of going to vote and that kind of stuff. Whereas it is also on record that there is this element of, I think the most important offices is the president and the MPs and LC5 chairperson. I was giving you an example last time here that I think it was Maracha, the one which was fighting to create there were two districts, there were two places. Finally, they were separated, but around Maracha, around the
Maracha and the attack, or is it?
Then the money allocated to the district, the percentage that would come back to the consolidated fund, simply because of the disagreements between the councillors, they would not
Don't agree on anything.
On anything, virtually on anything. And that district, we are giving it as an example, but there are so many districts in that line. Therefore, you have got a very serious issue that as a country, going forward into the new government, we need to think deeply, make recommendations, and let the recommendations be adopted. If need be, the next parliament, as a starting point, it is my recommendation, should start there. Let them look at why
Should
the
I
law turn up.
Should I give you information?
Yes.
As we speak, we have all political parties. Was it about 8 that participated in election?
Because there were 8 candidates.
Because there were 8
Were
candidates.
they all belonging to political parties?
As we speak, the election is done, but all of them, they have not yet even sat down to give us, even if it is a joint report or a report by each political party with recommendation.
Yeah, but that's where I want to come in. First of all,
It's a bit early.
the last election they held was today, so they had to give a report after all the elections are gone.
And remember, there is an election petition.
Yeah, there is. Oh, they can give their reports even when there is an election petition, but the
That's
petition in
and
itself,
if you read that one,
yeah, the petition is an item to report. But I think they would need to gather themselves, have a bit of time, put together the reports, and tell us. But now, whether we have reports or not, we are going to have another government
We already have.
anyway. Yeah. Well, until this one expires, which is May. Yeah.
we still,
The
old
parliament is still the old parliament. The cabinet ministers are those. But Daniel, what should be the key priorities? And that's what the topic was really original about. We are done today with elections. We need to look ahead because we must look ahead. What should be the key priorities that the government that is coming in should really pay attention to?
In my analysis, the key priority is that this topic is demands of us. And we are already aware of the new government. We must interrogate their manifesto. The NRM manifestos over a number of years has not drastically changed. Majority of their manifestos are derived from the original 10-point program, which was expanded to the 15-point program. I don't know now how many programs do you have.
They are
We are still at 15.
They are still 15.
Yes. And of course, we know that the National Resistance Movement has got a constitution, and they point out some of the areas of emphasis. And I think, if I may just quickly go through things to do with patriotism, things to do with Pan-Africanism, never mind that some of these things there is some lip service, paying of lip service, and I will come to that. Then there is
socio-economic
transformation. So we are always transforming, socio-economic transformation. Yes, and the final one, because there are four.
The patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic
transformation,
and democracy.
And that fourth one, democracy. In majority of the cases, when you have done the three, democracy is a very relative word, by the way. It's a very relative word, and it depends. When you define it in the eyes and the lenses of the Western capitals, it will be a democracy that for the people, by the people, and whatever that Socrates or the Greek kind of democracy, and probably that never happens in its entirety.
So going forward, we shouldn't focus on it?
I'm looking at it being interpreted in the lenses of the European, this kind of democracy. It does not really happen that way, but when we are intellectually debating it, it comes out successful economies are not necessarily democratic in the eyes, at least, of the European democracy. I mean, what sort of democracy? Look at how the Korea South, they are all the time imprisoning their leaders. You know, there is absolutely in a row about 4 of them, 3 now. They are in prison.
Yeah, but
and yet their type of democracy
they are breaking the law.
Is no, sometimes some of these things, you know, but in China.
And when you hear the reasons, you can even laugh.
Yes.
Just to donate a suit to a president, why do you donate?
Becomes a good. So sometimes we
That's their democracy. That's their law.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the problem. For us, we would have no problem with that. But when we are looking at the priorities, because actually your question, the topic is the
so what are the priorities? Because
yes,
you have gone away from the priorities, and you are describing different types of democracy.
I have not. I have not gone away from the priorities because we know the government that is coming into power. We must therefore contextualize the priorities in the laid down principles. What are the parameters of this political party called NRM? What is its philosophy? From there is where the priorities are derived. So I was providing that container, and having told you the container, therefore, some of the priorities, the key priorities, in my opinion, is the socio-economic development. The NRM, the
what
new
does
government.
that mean, Daniel? This is so huge an animal. What is socio-economic development?
I'm breaking it down.
What are you telling them? What are you expecting these people to do?
The NRM government, in looking at this economic development, which certainly will change the social standing of the people, will have to improve, for instance, greatly in terms of the amount of money that has been allocated to the parish development model, because that is part of the those are part of the packages.
The increase money to PDM.
Yes, we are looking at developing and improving the agriculture.
How?
Agriculture is actually, in terms of budgeting, it does not get the money, for instance, which defense gets. And yet,
that is what doesn't happen.
And yet,
what would you like to happen?
And yet, agriculture, being the leading economic activity of a developing economy like Uganda, which employs well over 78%.
Daniel, you are not telling me what you would like to see happen. You are contextualizing and contextualizing. What things would you like to see happen, Daniel?
You are being impatient for no.
No, because I have a time and my hour is getting finished.
And when my time gets finished, the microphone will go to another person.
I will interpret that to you.
So in terms of socio-economic development, which I'm saying NRM must
PDM is one.
No,
Agriculture
PDM is a subset.
Agriculture
there is
two.
Agriculture there.
And I said, what do you want them
there
to
is,
do?
In agriculture, they increase the budget.
Increase the budget? The next
there
thing?
is, we are talking about infrastructure.
What do they want?
The infrastructure, the feeder roads. The feeder roads must be expanded.
Excellent.
Yes. Then there is there is a need and absolute need to improve on the human capital.
Which means?
Human capital is the skilled labor.
Training and skilling.
Yeah, absolutely. Training and skilling artisan.
I am going to the fifth and I will thank you very much. And go to Jamil.
Then I think we need also to increase on the democratic space.
Meaning?
That's a key priority area.
Meaning what?
Democratic space is that there is a feeling, it is debatable, that the political space in Uganda is not as open as it ought to be. Since we are in a multi-party dispensation, the political parties, other political parties other than NRM, have got a feeling that NRM takes a lion's share, does not provide the open space for other political parties to participate as it is supposed to be during, after the electoral cycle. And that they say disadvantages.
So what should happen?
Therefore,
what should you be doing in NRM?
NRM, what they should be doing? NRM therefore needs to implement, to start with, the recommendations that were given by the Supreme Court in Amama Baba's electoral petition. And by doing that, one of the areas that were recommended was to make sure that they improve on the space, the political party participation, so that there could be free participation of all political players. Leveling the ground is what they called it.
Jamil,
yes.
Do you have the caterpillars to level the ground? In your priority of democracy, it's one of the priorities.
Yeah, you see.
And what are the others?
You see, when you ask me what are the priorities, we are going to form a new government, what should you start with? The first thing before we do anything is forgiveness and reconciliation.
True.
People still have a lot of bitter in the process we have been in. We have political prisoners, and this is what I'm pleading to His Excellency the President, and to whoever is watching our Family TV that can reach out to him with an upper voice than mine. Let us, please, let us forgive, even if someone doesn't want to say sorry. Because as we speak, we all know is going to be the president and is going to elect a cabinet, and our government has to run. Let us forgive and reconcile with these political figures. For instance, the issues of Dr. Kizza Besigye, the incidences of Mwanga Chivumbi, all those people, we need to first want to forgive and we reconcile. Because if at all we are saying one of our pillars, patriotism is one of them, let us look at Ugandans and let us look at Uganda as a country. Let us look at ourselves as we. So, for me, if at all you ask me, the first thing is forgiveness and reconciliation. Because without that, even if now I'm here with my brother here, if at all I have that bitterness inside me, even if he's having the points that are substantial, that I hear he has a point, because of the bitterness inside me, you want to tell me that in opposition, whatever they bought in their manifesto was wrong? Or it doesn't have any sense. But because we have no that sense of forgiveness and reconciliation, you cannot even look into their manifesto and say, let us try to fish some points and put them into consideration. You may not use them now, but at least you say in 2027, 2028, we can try to implement. So that is the first point. 2, at least after that forgiveness and reconciliation, we try to do a joint government. Why? As long as these people, for instance, there are certain offices whereby you need to give the opposition figures to check you into the system. The IGG office, the Prime Minister's office. Let us give them opportunity to showcase what they can do, their capacity, their capability, because we have been here and we are seeing the issue of corruption. So we give some offices to them since we have formulated a joint government. We need to copy from our neighbors. Mia saw Laira and Ruto.
For your information, that the last report we got from Betty Kanya was that through corruption, we lose as a country
10
trillion
every financial year.
Shillings every financial year. Now who can accept that? You lose that and you develop as a country.
So if at all we don't do that, we shall not move as a country. Thirdly, can we do the review, the cost of election? Before moving, okay, we have got power, but the cost of democracy, whatever we've gone through, if at all now, let us try to calculate minimum, okay, let me say maximum. In this election you have used, I think, like 10 trillion.
And I'm going to request you to just allow us to make some money.
Okay.
And then we can come back. So we take a break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we are going to start with that point of the cost of elections. And what do you recommend we should do going forward?
Yeah.
In order to make the cost of this and other coming elections reasonable for the people of this country. We are going for a short break and we'll be back. Don't go out.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. We are into the last hour of the Boton Line program. The Boton Line program is the successor program for the ballot 2026. We've finished the elections, but we are moving on because life has to go on, even when we have elections, and we are looking ahead. Beyond the elections now, we have a government and other lower level governments at sub-county level, at district level, that have come in. What should be the key priorities? In studio, I'm with Dr. Daniel Rugarama, and I am also with Jamil Kazibwe, and we've been looking at what should the new government be looking at. Sometimes when you say new government, some people smile because they say it is candidate Yoweri Museveni handing over to President Yoweri Museveni, but it's a new government. It is going to come with, if you look at, for example, the constitution of parliament, the way it's constituted, you have probably 65, close to 70% of the people who are coming to parliament as the new people, not the ones who were in the last one. If you look at the districts and the lower government levels, oh yeah, the changes there are also so huge.
The attrition rate.
Yes, the attrition rate is very high, almost tectonic. And so we were looking at those, but also looking at the turn-up during the elections and the factors affecting that. And before we went to the break, Jamil, we were talking about the cost
An election.
of elections in this country.
Yeah.
And you were making a recommendation on now going ahead. What should be the priority intervention in there?
Yeah, because before we make the recommendations, when we say the cost of an election, and when you look at the report from the police, the death we have had, actually in the 5 days of the shutdown of internet, URA made a report, they lost 1.4 trillion in revenue, minus even these, for us, the mobile money, people who work on internet using what, all those. So what is the cost of an election? So what is my recommendation? And I had this view, and I'm soon making a press conference over it. This should way of grabbing to ourselves into the necks, pulling ourselves the strings up and there. Why don't we why don't we entrust the parliament? Because it is us that elect the members of parliament. Instead, with that huge cost, because you're going to see, if at all we've made 10 trillion as a loss in an election to buy democracy, because that is a loss. We are not earning, we are spending. So 10 trillion that it is an expenditure we've made in this election, with over 858 billion in the electoral commission to buy the VVC machine that didn't work. All that, I'm of a view, why don't we now start to look at things the way they should be, and we change the model. Let us go to our constituencies, have elections of the parliamentarians, let them come and vote for the president for us. And we reduce those costs.
So you are differentializing the people?
I'm not differentializing the people, but it is the same people, it is the same route. The difference is that we are doing the same thing on the same day, but in different positions. What we are doing, it is the same, but different positions. The day we elect the president, it is the day we elect the constituency MPs. But the high costs we are making on the presidential elections is much, much higher compared to the constituency. So if at all we decide and we say let these people concentrate in their constituencies, and we give the MPs, unless we don't trust them, but if at all they will hear our voices, we shall send them to represent us. Let them represent our opinions into the parliament to elect the president on our behalf. And we finish the issue of at what cost should an election be.
Aren't you going to therefore increase the cost of an MP election, which is already very high, by the way, that now you are now giving them even more power to choose a president on our behalf? So we'll be extracting even more from them.
No, we shall not be extracting, because now, since if at all the electors, we, the voters, if we resemble the people we have voted, it means we don't need even resources from them. We just need our ideas to be implemented. So why don't we don't even need your resources, we don't need your monies. What we want, it is you to represent our ideas. That will reduce the parliamentary, these MPs we are having that go, we normally say them, hey, this one came on our wedding, this one went to our kuhinjira, this one did that, instead of saying what have you done in the past 5 years. So those are the recommendations I'm looking at. There's my 6th point. Can we discuss the transition issue?
Transitioning from where to where?
It is not provided for in our
From where to where?
law books.
You see, there are things you can deny, but you have to face them. Even if you say, will you die? I will say I will not. Do you want to die? I will say I don't. But death has to come to me. Whether we want or we don't want, we have to go there.
Die.
So how prepared is one?
How prepared are we? And this one needs, it takes me back to forgiveness and reconciliation. Bring all stakeholders on board. Where do you want to, our country, how do you see it? What is the direction? So if at all we can't discuss and you want to run away from it, whether we want, it is just like death. Whether I don't want, even whether I hide in my room, I will have to face it. It will come to me. Whether we don't want to discuss it, whether we want, at one point T, even if we say we shall not go back into elections, let President Museveni have other 10 years consecutive, we shall still have to discuss the transition. But if at all everyone, you ask everyone, they distance themselves away from it. And it is not good for us now, as we are formalizing the government, as we are about to swear in, we also have to sit into our back doors and we discuss, and not only as NRM, even other stakeholders. My 7th point.
Interesting, Jamil.
My 7th point. I'm requesting my president, at least in this cabinet, we have got the leadership. Let us have leaders who are hands-on. I want to see how do we improve the managerial and administrative what? Effectiveness of our systems. Leaders who are hands-on. Imagine, I was watching in an interview, in a meeting, where a prime minister is pleading to Honorable Minister for Works, General Katumba Amala, my people are on my neck, my road of Kakumiru. What should I imagine? A prime minister who is supposed, you have to call these people to account to you. We gazetted this road. We gave you the amount. Where are the contractors? How far is this? You are just pleading. Your Excellency, we have seen leaders who are mobilizers. At least give us a good prime minister. We are pleading a better prime minister. These are things we need to talk about, because sometimes when we speak about these things, they say, "But for you, are you really NRM?" Yes, I'm NRM and I'm Ugandan. Because you have to speak the truth here, even if it takes you to death. The bitter part of it. A prime minister will not go to peel matoke A prime minister will sit and ask each and every minister to be accountable in his office with a report. These are the leaders we are looking at, a hands-on. Finally, my point. How do we handle the issue of economy and the issue of unemployment? It is a big task that makes president to sit up, down, squat, move, unemployment and economic empowerment. When we met president recently, he was asking, for you people, you call them yourselves mobilizers, but what are you mobilizing? In Runyankole, there is what we call okuchena micheno. Then he asked, do you know what it means? Okuchena micheno. Do you know what it means? My fellow youth, because someone could stand, he said no. It means find the problems of our people and get the solutions. But for you, you just move Museveni oye without identifying people's problems and having solutions. It will make us to look as if we are not working for the people. So what are we saying? And this is what we said, even in our report. One, do you know that we have a night economy and we are not utilizing it?
You see, when you say night economy, people can understand it differently.
I'm going to elaborate it. The night economy, what do I mean? One,
It also includes that part of misunderstanding.
okay. The night economy, let me give you an example. For instance, go to arenas where we see our local matches. Vipers playing KCC. The match is played at night at 8. Our people around that area, at where that stadium is, we are not utilizing that economy, the night economy. May I stay in Nakasero? You know, as we move from Family TV, you people who don't know Family TV, we are near Nakasero. You move at night and you see what is in Nakasero. That night economy, where people transport their goods.
Oh,
because
we have market.
Yes, we have given them peace and security. They move their goods from wherever they are to bring it to Nakasero, and they use that night economy to make transactions. Can't we use the same in all places, in Yatiaka, Yumbe, Guru, Lira, to see that what is in Nakasero can be adopted and used in other areas? Secondly, invest in sports and technology. Sports alone. You see these people, if at all you get 7% of our generation, you ask them about our economy, they cannot explain. Ask them about sports. Even our children at home, ask them about sports. They'll tell you a football player, how he dressed, even he's sick, even malaria, even what is in their bedroom. What does that imply? We need to tap in what the generation can. Because if at all we can invest in sports and we boost the talents of our generation, one player can try to change. If at all one player can try to change the economy of Senegal, what if we have like 6 players? But we are not copying from what others are doing.
They are copying from us.
But for us, when you see this Senegal player, the captain, this is who took Africa Cup of Nations, in their club, each and every day, like today, someone is getting 2.7 billion today. What if that 2.7 billion is on that boy we invested in and is bringing that money into our economy?
You are even failing to present a coherent budget position in Parliament. You were there the other day with your football bickering with the minister.
But no, the bickering is on how and what is going to do. Because to come and explain to someone that you want 8 billion for goal line technology, someone doesn't understand. You need to make these people to understand. You need this for what and you on which impact. Then lastly, specialization.
Meaning?
This is the challenge and where we go wrong as Ugandans. Me, I cannot be you. You cannot be me. Every region we are having here in our country, they should specialize in their capacity. For instance, if you say Uganda, you are specializing in coffee, let us empower these people into their agriculture and we make them have good seedlings of agriculture and give us good produces. Then we look for a global market. Last time I had an interaction with Audrey and asked Audrey, how come a pineapple in UAE is at $15? One pineapple. That is around the 30,000.
50.
30,000. Uganda shillings
$15 is more than 45,000.
Okay, 45,000. But do you know that at a plantation they get that pineapple at 1,000?
Yes, I know. I used to grow pineapples.
But what if we have identified the market and the need in UAE? What do they need? And how can we try to bring a good pineapple that matches the standard? We are specializing. Where do those pineapple growers are? In Iruero, Nakasongola. Oh, okay. What should we do? Empower them with good fertilizers, with good new technology of machines, not the people using hoe to dig 170 acres. It will not work. So with that, it will change the economy. How? The more we bring in. Because when you look at recently, what coffee is doing, you go to Komansimbi, go to Karungu, go to Masaka, a useful person like me, you find people in their house, someone is building a nice house, is having a new car. Why? He sold the cassette. A kg at 18,000. So, but we need to teach our generation. No, all of you are not going to get money, or you are not going to be employed in government offices. But there is a way. Who is going to do that? Me and other people. But the problem, when you call these people the ministers, the PROs in the ministerial positions, all of them turn you down. Who is going to explain to these people? If at all now, as we speak now, we are having, the report shows Uganda is the leading country in producing organic food.
Second best organic, yes.
Organic food. It means you already have the market. Everyone is yearning to have your produce. But to sensitize and teach this generation, don't start with 10 acres. It will be hectic on you. Start with 1. Let him first test the sweetness of 1 acre. As he tests 1, he say, hey, in 1 acre I can be able to get 6 million. Let me try 2. You will not even next time you will see him having 10. But we are selling our father's lands, coming to urban areas to buy borders and ready to get 10,000. And the next day they are banging a hammer on your head. You are losing a border, you've lost land, you have lost everything. You are going to die a miserable life. Hence, saying President Museveni is a bad leader.
Rugarama.
Yes.
Hearing you guys talk about the things that need to be prioritized, these are the things that we have been told will be prioritized. And we know that we have not been here for a short time. We have been here 4 good years. So what should be done to give us confidence first that those priorities will happen anyway? But so process-wise, what should happen? Because the song about corruption, we have had it. The song about inadequate implementation, we have heard it. The song about, putting money into people's hands. The song about markets. So looks like we are a cassette, a radio cassette. For us, we used to have radio cassettes that is eating the tape.
Truth be told, majority African countries, we have largely not been a money economy. And not being a money economy has got its own ramifications. And one of them is that if you do not have a system whereby you have got products, services, products which you put on the market, and indeed the market is there, then you get money, it is banked, then it is also multiplied. You suffer certain consequences, and one of them is almost perpetual poverty, from hand to mouth. You are not going to be improving anytime soon. So largely, because Africa has been a money economy, because look at the percentage of the bankables, the banked.
Very low percentage. Very low.
People, even in the age of mobile banking, money, of course there has been some increment in the banked. People keep their money on mobile phones. It is transferred much faster. But I want to concur with my brother's submission. I agree with him. Only that, again, to go back to what we have just said, I mean, this is what our president has been saying. He's been talking about a 4-acre model kind of economy. He has clearly explained what to plant there. But brother, look, at one time, vanilla was the end thing here. Question is, what happened? People in Mukono and elsewhere started growing vanilla. Western Uganda, Northern Uganda, Central Uganda here, they grew vanilla to very serious levels. All of a sudden, vanilla market completely. So what explanation do you give to such a people? Now, the inability by our government, because that's really a government issue, to look for markets, even in the face of regional economic blocks like EACA, East Africa, that we still have a problem where our pineapples, our vanilla, our coffee, name them, the markets, tomatoes, the markets are not sustainable, they are not dependable, is still a problem that in prioritizing the next government, in prioritizing whatever they have got to prioritize, they must look at the issue of expanded, sustainable, dependable creation of such markets. Short of that, you are going to encourage people to go into all manner of agriculture where we have got a cooperative advantage, and we shall not do well. The other is that the specialization, which we all agree, I would want to fit it in the provision of quality education. Provision of quality education, I'm glad that Ministry of Education has been doing curriculum reviews. You got primary, you got secondary, and they are trying to look at the education system from the point of view of the learner. To me, that is a plus. That the learner is the center of all this. That we are talking about an education that is that empowers the learner to be creative. Because what we are lacking, or what we have not developed, because I can't say we are lacking it, because that should be within us. is the ability to develop the talents within us. And it rhymes with what my brother here was saying. So the ability, we have got excellent mathematicians, we have got excellent agroeconomists, we have got excellent footballers, but because we have had an education system that has not been tailored to, you know what we call education which is not responsive. It is not responsive to the needs, our needs. We have got unique needs. You look at the people.
We have done curriculum.
Yes, curriculum review, and we are still
ongoing.
And it is ongoing, and we hope we haven't got the products from there. So we hope that by this, the curriculum reviews that have been done, we hope that there is going to be. Of course, you see, when we do that, then we have got other intervening. There are always external factors. And whenever you talk about external factors, Baguma, you know, you say now.
Let me interrupt.
Yes,
because
interruption accepted.
You see, curriculum review was done.
Yes.
I think the O-level one.
We are continuing. Primary, they have done it. Has it been out?
It was
they have increased
it was rolled out. In fact, the marking has been based on that
the
curriculum.
cumulative assessment, which takes about 20-30%.
Now,
like that.
However, we rolled out a new curriculum without training the teachers.
Yes, these are some of the challenges.
So
you are right.
So we didn't have instructors. We didn't have adequate instructors.
Even when in the spirit of East African community, even when we said that Swahili should, as a matter of necessity, be taught from primary schools, we should have started by training the teachers.
Because it's also a language.
You see, yes, it is one of the official languages, English and Swahili. But again, we didn't put in place a practical program of churning out the teachers. Let me tell you, comrades.
So what should change now?
Yes, I'm coming.
Because what should be the priorities? We know what we have not done.
Sometimes, when a community must make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and then do things correctly. It does not matter how many times we have failed. The important thing is that finally have we woken up and done the correct thing. The problem is that we think we should do everything now and it should be us to do them. Sometimes human limitations, we must accept that certain things are going to be started by us and they will be even in the Bible.
So one of our priorities of the incoming government is to accept
that we can start on something.
To allow my children tell me that they call it allowing.
Yes.
That you allow that we gagne.
No. Let me tell you.
What should be done?
When you let's just very quickly run through some of these things. When we identify that we need infrastructure expansion, and we devote part of our substantial budget to increasing telephone services, internet, bandwidth, roads, and Kampala, of course, is as dust as you can see it, but the up-country network is at least greatly improved. We look at water transport. There are some districts that are not easily connected, islands and what have you. The important thing that the movement should do, NRM, this new government, is to make sure that since they started on it, and it is a priority area, they should now purpose to increase the budget, but also, when you increase the budget, follow up with measures to ensure that there is implementation. There is a problem at the district level. Engineers have been arrested for doing shoddy work. We all got these roads, given contracts. They put up structures at the district level which are extremely wanting. So there is the element of supervision.
Shoddy work is also at the national level.
Yes, absolutely.
Baguma Rugarama, it's not just a district problem.
No. You see, the immediate impact that the wananchi feels is when he comes from his village, he goes to the center for the people who go to Marago. They are you who have the money after all. Marago, if you don't have money, can you just go to Marago? But it's a government institution.
So this infrastructure issue,
yes,
should the work.
And it needs we need to be very serious with the application of the law. Whoever is implicated in any form of corruption, the law should not have an eye for and against. The law should see everybody at equal terms. If we can master that, we are going to do away with this evil called corruption. And I'm not saying, by the way, that at another level, on another day, I would argue that corruption is a factor for development, but not for this show. Because I will tell you what the Americans are doing in DRC is a form of corruption. These UN agencies, what is corruption by definition? They come, but for them, they do it at a level of a government. They corruptly obtain resources from another country. They go and develop their factories, their industries, their home. But when I go into that, we are going to miss the point, because I would have taken the debate to another level. The point I'm making is that the priority areas, be it expansion of infrastructure, be it development of human capital, be it expansion of the market, we are already doing well. We are talking about East African community. We are talking about COMESA. All these regional blocks, they are meant to ensure that we have got a huge market in the DRC. You go to DRC and see what we are talking about. The people who are doing fabrication at all petrol stations are Ugandans. These were Juakai. Now you can imagine if we promoted that area.
We should be exporting labor.
Oh, and the labor, the kind of labor we should be exporting, by the way, I hope the Ministry of Labor officials are listening and the policy makers. The kind of labor we should be, Nigeria recently has just agreed with the Middle East countries for export of certain specialized labor. That is why you find that the labor from Asia is more respected in Middle East than the labor from here. If we were taking fabricators, we were taking people who are semi-skilled, doing fabrication, doing mason, all that kind of stuff, I can assure you, and that's a deliberate policy. You say, no, we are not going to give you a visa, we are not going to give you a pass, unless you go through, look at these labor export labor markets we have. All they do, they don't give a damn. They send our girls here who are going to do house girl work, and then they cheat them. There are all manner of cases here. They cheat them, almost give them half of what they are entitled to, and they enrich themselves. When they reach there, sometimes they even get into problems of promiscuity and that kind of thing. So at the end of the day,
so what should we be doing?
Priority areas that we have talked about here. If the NRM, which is coming into government, has identified wealth creation, has identified infrastructure expansion, has identified health, because there is a problem. You look at the health and they tell you that, yes, the health centers are there, but there are no drugs. In all fairness, why are there no drugs? And that is the irresponsibleness.
And at the end of the day, you see them at the end of the month burning the drugs.
Because they imported drugs which were about to expire, and they made a deal. We have got people who have lost any sense of shame, and they don't care what happens. So the banning of the drugs, which naturally by the time they reach the desired destinations, are either left with a very short span to expire or have expired, is a matter of supervision. That right from, and that is why NRM, my colleague is here, I can talk at least with the level of independence here, that we need in some of these, and this I'm being really very honest, in some of these positions, there are some positions where we don't need to gamble. His Excellency the President, you are our president, but in some of these positions, I don't know what happened to the cadre identification
And the placement.
then also monitoring and guidance. There is need, if we have said we are having high commissioners, we are having ambassadors, there should be the very best. I am not in any way praising somebody against another, but if you look at like our ambassador, Adoniel, quality, first class, those are the people we need.
True.
You see? Now, if we have said somebody is heading is a hospital district inspector, if we are talking, yes, I know this is public service, but we should also mind the background. If there are these other positions, the RDCs, you look at the quality of the RDCs, you look at this, there are so many other government parastatal bodies where we need, yes, qualified, you have the papers, we don't need the embarrassment like we have had here with the Uganda Airlines. We don't need that. So these are not my words, they are everywhere, they're in papers. And then we say our cadre. You know, do you know what it would have meant if our sister, for instance, reached there and turned the Uganda Airlines up and down and made it prosperous? Do you know what it would have been? It would have cut the rumor mongering of you are sending your people there to do nothing. So we need to identify the cadres who are qualified because they are there, very present, and who are committed, they know what to do, and who are going to make this country proud.
Jamil, I am sorry to have skepticism. I don't know if I should even be sorry. This skepticism is based on experience of many years. I am a little fortunate that I have been around
for some time.
Yeah. And so the priority areas we are talking that should have investment, and you seem to share, both of you, the agreement on the priority areas. But for me, I think that those areas, some of the things are not happening because the one who has the authority to make them happen does not see them as priorities. We seem to be talking at cross purposes with the one who is coming. So if you talk about human resource identification and placement, I have nothing really to hold on to that this will be taken as a priority. No, I mean, it hasn't. It really hasn't. The cadres of people he's talking about, the cadres of people you talked about, we kind of see this repeated. So, for me, I don't know how to call it, but I thought the priority thing would be our priority was to do things differently, actually, if I can call it that, yes. That we should be able for it. We talk about fighting corruption. But Jamil, Daniel, you know, this is what we have been talking about. Creating bodies, enacting laws. Yeah. So why would anybody feel that this time the priorities will be priority? Yeah.
You see, I want to borrow my brother's words. He said, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, but as long as at the end of the day, you sit down and you narrate your success story. To fight all this drama, you see, it starts with leadership. In my submission prior, I told you, I'm requesting His Excellency, at least this time, give us competent people. We have good cadres, we have good people who are competent. And we are very sure that if this person is placed in this position, can give you good results, no matter what. Let me give you an incident. If at all we wake up one day and we say, our MPs, we are not going to take away your privileges. You are changing all drops, what and everything. Your cars of 315 million, we are okay. But we say, only on one thing, your medical insurance, you are going to attach it to your constituency referral hospital. When you fall sick, either one of your family members, they refer you to your constituency. Will you hear anything like there is no medicine in the hospital?
And your children also attend those schools.
Will you hear that? Because now we shall have leaders who are hands-on, because we are going through the same that the Wananchi are going through. So it is just a matter of changing the system on how things should be done. Nevertheless, even if we don't do that, but get good leaders that are placed in the positions to do what they are good at. You will not find me in media unless I'm trying to gamble with everything, like you, the way Ugandans want to gamble with things. Because at the end of the day, it is going to cost us, it is going to cost the country, and at the end of the day, everything is going to be at a mess. We are looking at Bamuturachi, but we are having as many Bamuturachis as more than 10,000. Today, if we are here at Family TV and we say now we are advertising the position of the CEO of Family TV, by morning you have people with masters, PhDs, very competent with good CVs. Where and how do things go wrong? After getting to the job, they sleep on the what? Lack of supervision. Because 75, and the people don't know, 75% of the people that Mzee appoints, it's a recommendation from us. Mzee, for us, give us a ministerial position. Whom do you give me? Kazibwe Jamal. Why? He used to dance very well on rallies. Minister for who? Health. Who doesn't know even how a syringe can be touched? Who doesn't know even how to turn anything into the lab? And which results do you expect?
They will tell you that ministers are political heads and they are not technocrats. But at least you need that.
You need that
institutional knowledge.
Let me give you an
A bit
example
of it for you to be able to supervise.
Yes. Because how are you going to supervise something that you don't know? You have no idea of. You enter into the lab, someone is giving a test tube, you are looking at it as if you are looking at a pencil.
As a minister,
I
have no need to look at test tubes.
You don't need to.
There are structures.
There are structures. Yeah. But now, if at all there is a problem, someone is, the Wananchi is calling you, is telling you the problem. Yes, the problem we are having here, we don't have HIV tests.
Yeah, but as if I have.
Then you say we allocated those tests, and someone is telling the tests you gave us, they are not of the standard. But you as a minister, you have never seen it.
I'm not supposed to procure any standards.
You don't need to procure, but you are the first supervisor.
That's what I'm saying. Each and everything. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about. That the supervision role, which you people say should be done, is supervision starts from the top, the very top. In fact, the ministers, it's delegated, literally. So if I am delegated, because you see, you can delegate activity without delegating authority. And I think that's part of the problem. That if I am Minister for Works and I say, by the way, Parliament has passed that this law on fines has been passed by Parliament. When the law is passed, it is applicable. And I come to apply it, and the law breakers run to plot 1. Then, I mean, it will be more of the same.
Me, I'm just giving information, my brother, Jamiru. I think when you look at how NRA, or formerly, originated, these were sober, young men, majority of them graduates from Makerere, whose ideological clarity of where they wanted to go, and by God's grace they went there. There is, Comrade Baguma, no room for mediocrity in NRM. Simply not there. We are supposed to have advanced 1,000,000 times from the times of the 1884-86. Now we are talking about 2026. The caliber of the people, be it in political office or technocratic offices, is supposed to be superb. We cannot therefore have room to say that a political head, even if he does not have or she does not have the institutional knowledge, should just be there because, after all, there are technocrats there who are going to do the job. That in NRM should not be there.
But it is there.
Unfortunately.
But it is there. So for me, I want to challenge you and say the priorities that you are talking about are technocratic priorities. And the problem is not technocracy. The problem is supervision. In fact, the priorities should be supervision priorities.
The other element, Comrade Baguma, just a minute, my brother. The other problem which I have realized over time, and where as part of the priority by the new government, the incoming government, is to empower institutions. There is a tendency of small gods within institutions who believe that without them, things are not going to move, and even then, they don't move things. We have got people in government parastatals, whether they are T people who report direct to the top, and their wishes are supposed to be obeyed, and their level of competency can only go up to the relationship they have with the top boss. That's all. That top boss knows them, and therefore they matter so much that regardless of what is supposed to, so the red tape, the bureaucracy, the limited delivery of what is supposed to be delivered in government parastatals is largely because of disenabling the institutions, disempowering them to function the way they are supposed to function, and emphasizing the I know so, and things must move as the way I want them to move.
Okay, so two things, Jamil, and I'm taking it from where Daniel has left it. That instead of the technical know-how, it's the technical know-who.
Yes, and that's very sad.
So that's one. The other one is the supervision. that the supervision is weak in many places. And relatedly, that they are the people who really institutionally may not have the positions or the mandate on paper, but they have. I know one of the ministries situated not too far off from here. There is a person who was deployed there from one of the security agencies. I have forgotten his title because they had to create a title. And everything that is to be done, they have to say, oh, has so and so
approved.
How can somebody, this is a multi-sectoral ministry, how can this one person, because he was recruited into some security agency and probably deployed here because he's a relative of somebody, be able to approve everything?
He has forgotten Regiko. In Regiko, they used to be a white man, and he was called an advisor. But his advice was actually the decision of the Regiko.
So it's Jamil. So for me, the priorities, I think, should be to weed out this, to push and eliminate this paralysis.
You see, it is a task, but at times I normally ask myself, can my party chairman go to that extreme? Because we have seen hands-on leaders. Me, I normally make reference on JPAM, John Patrick Amama Mbabazi, the way he used to do things. Sit in the office, call every minister. You have to give me a report. Call all RDCs to give him a report on email, and even calls you. That could help even the party chairman to relieve and to handle other issues. The man could come at the parliament and you can see the tension. And the ministers could not even dodge to come and make presentation in parliament. Because the super minister is going to come and he will ask you, they asked about this, where were you? But apparently, we have the state actors that are more powerful than even if we empower. Let me give you a recent example of Jennifer Musisi. Who fought her? The state actors were touching on our buildings. Very competent woman. Hardworking, on point. We lost her. And more others. So at the moment, even if you will say, let me call Ben and put him in, you will say her, but the state mafias and actors, will I manage? So it's going to even to break those competent people, not to bring out the abilities of doing work. Because at the moment, in the process, you're going to touch on someone who is going to call that person is mentioning of. Immediately, what they will do, they transfer you from health, then they take you to gender. Here, work not done, even there. We have seen on tweets, you will not be a minister. I will be a minister.
There is this information, comrade. In 2010,
we have 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes to go.
Oh yes, in 2010, His Excellency the President presented a paper. It was in South Africa, one of the cities, and he was looking at. It was titled "The 11 Bottlenecks of Africa's Development," and in there, one of the bottlenecks was a strategic civil service. That the public service we have here on the African continent itself is a problem. It hinders development. Now that tells you the state of our public service in as far as delivering on the mandate and also being a catalyst to development on the African continent is concerned.
And one of the priority areas
should
is
be
to remove
that
research. Finally, Jamil. Finally, Jamil. In the last minute.
Finally, me, I'm pleading to all Ugandans, since we have finished the election process, let's put everything aside and work for our Ugandans. Let's work for our people. Let's put all the tempers aside. Let's forgive ourselves, and we focus that we have much higher things to do. We don't look at the opposition as our enemies. We are looking at them as our brothers, such that we can move our country forward. I normally give an example of our close neighbors in Kenya and Rwanda. If I even ask my colleagues here to mention like 3 MPs from Rwanda, you may even not find someone who can mention even like 2. So why? After elections, we focus on pushing the country forward. So elections are done, let us focus on pushing our country forward. Lastly, I'm pleading to His Excellency Captain Museveni. I'm pleading to you, Your Excellency. Sir, please give us competent leaders. Give us prime ministers who are competent. Give us competent leaders.
Welcome to politics.
Thank you so much.
Daniel, you have 30 seconds.
I really would want to add my voice to the general call. NRM is historically known for being a performer. We have achieved so much. We have come from very far. We have undergone a political socio-economic metamorphosis to the liking of so many of our African neighbors and beyond. It is now a big challenge for the incoming NRM to ensure that we do not just protect the gains of the past, but we improve on them to the admiration of even our enemies.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of tonight's edition of The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line, the successor program of the Ballot 2026 going forward. The key priority will be to make sure that the bottom line is a very strong program, a program that will be continuing to dissect, to analyze, to deeply look at the issues that matter to this country. I want to thank you so much for staying with us. Please join us next Wednesday, but thank you for staying with us. Dr. Daniel Rugarama and Jamil Kazibwe, thank you so much for joining me. Baguma Richard, your presenter, wishing you a good night. Join us next Wednesday, 9 p.m. But please keep tuned to the Church of Uganda Family TV. God bless you.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.